you can't underestimate the importance of the community and the community's relationship and interest in agriculture and supporting agriculture. Is it what you would call a farm-friendly community or a not farm-friendly community? Certainly talking with farmers in the community would give you an idea of what the attitude is. Also by looking at their, in this part of the world, what we call the town plan of conservation and development, you can see what kind of language there is in there as relates to agriculture and farmland as businesses. So that's important to consider. We also have, I'll remind you that we have the LP5 Community Support for Agriculture Checklist, which really gives you a way to consistently go through and look at a community, their planning and zoning standards, and support and infrastructure as relates to agriculture. Do they have a farmer's market? Do they utilize selling local farm products in their school system in town? Do they provide any public land for farming? Do they lease to local farmers? How good of a job do they do leasing to farmers? Do they participate in a farmland preservation program? The other thing that's unique about this property is that it actually is in two towns. Just to the right of me here is another town that's a very farm-friendly town that has an additional right to farm law to protect farmers in town, but most of the property is in a different town that is not known to be as farm-friendly and has different rules and regulations. So it's important in any property to really have a good idea of the community support for agriculture, and this checklist is very helpful for doing that. So you can certainly point that out to people. The other thing that I think we've basically gone through all of the sections of the Site Assessment Worksheet, and it would be great to remind the participants that hopefully they've envisioned themselves on this piece of property, that you've gone out and done this assessment, you've gotten them to think about how it might work for their potential farming operation. So I would recommend after going through one of these site assessments on a piece of property that they go back and look at their land requirements worksheet, where they looked at their business and their land tenure goals, their business factor. How many acres do they need? Do they need irrigation? Do they need infrastructure? What kind of access do they need? There's what their lifestyle is. You know, here we're only 16 miles from the city of Hartford. So if it's a family that needs multiple income sources, maybe multiple jobs are required to be able to farm, there are opportunities here. Also, this actually has quite a bit of affordable housing in this community as well. So perhaps you find affordable housing someplace else in town and this becomes farm worker housing. Again, you'd have to check the zoning requirements and check with the terms of the easement to make sure that that's allowed. But I think that that's also something by, again, looking at their land requirement worksheet can help them think about those things that are important to them and their farm business and their lifestyle goals.